start that recording and start that stream. Welcome to Horsin Around, a dumbass cast. I'm your host, as always, Nick Mercadante, and with me today I have two lovely guests. If you would like to introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Tori. Oh, I fucked it up. I was supposed to say I'm Jacob, aren't I?
Yeah, you.
No, you could be normal. That's completely
no,
acceptable.
no,
That's actually what I
no.
want most of the time.
Destroyed it. I'm not saying my name in protest now.
I see.
He's boycotting the name
You'll
saying.
never know who I am.
Well, anyways, with Tori and myself and this mysterious man, in our endless search for content,
Nick,
it's
why
actually
can I
kind
see
of.
your taskbar on the screen? I'm sorry to just.
Oh
jump
shit!
in
Sorry.
and
No,
fucking
I
ruin
do
it.
that often, and I forget to full screen the
Nick,
window. So
this
thank you
is
for reminding
cringe,
me.
but it is 69 degrees in Syracuse today, so that is not.
That's very important to know.
I don't know, if you, guys. I don't know if you know. This is 69.
It's the most
It's
important
kind of a
information
funny
we could
number.
pass on to our viewers in this show, truly. So, in our endless search for content, Jacob, literally in the last 5 minutes, was just like, what if we did a tier list of cities based on the conversations we were having last week about all those great Virginia cities? And it's also the 4th of July tomorrow, so why not? That seems to line
The
up.
most American thing to do
Exactly.
is create disunity.
Exactly.
My city's better than your city.
Yes, it's the most
Forget
important
about
thing.
it.
So we
hey, Brooklyn.
We went
Let's
to
go.
tier list or tiermaker.com, where they already have a very convenient list of cities that we can tier list. So yeah, I guess we're just gonna go through these fuckers and try to rank them. And I don't know much about most of these cities, so this is gonna be a shit show. But
I don't know about most of these cities, but I've at least passed through most of them, and I have enough opinions for me to be like, I like this one. I didn't like this one.
fair enough.
Baseless opinions for a lot of things I have opinions on, so this will be interesting.
There we go.
Yeah.
So first off, I guess we could just go around, go down through the rows. We got Chicago as our first list city
I don't think
on
about
here.
that. Let's just go. Let's just have the city, and then we're gonna rank the city right then and there.
Yeah.
This
okay.
is not a relative list. This is a
No.
Yeah, you either scored a good grade, or
Yeah,
you're
we're not
bad.
comparing these cities to each other necessarily. These are just you're getting a ranking from S tier to D tier, D for Detroit tier, as you see here. So Chicago, I'm going to just be.
Chicago is at least an A tier. I think
Wow, really?
Hey.
you can put it in B tier, but I think it is at least an A tier.
How are you giving it
put
such
it
a
up
high
on
ranking?
a shining city on a hilltop. Chicago is like a quintessential city.
I mean, they
like,
do have the bean.
I was gonna
that
say
is pretty
the only thing I know about
poggers.
Chicago is the
It's
bean.
got the bean,
So-
but I've been to Chicago before. Chicago has its train system. It's right by the lake. I think it's a very beautiful looking city. Like if I were to have to live in the Midwest, I would probably end up choosing Chicago.
Yeah, it's kind of like the one that sort of survived, right? Like compared to all, like, fucking
even
Detroit
ignoring that,
and...
like there's I guess Minneapolis, St. Paul area is kind of still Midwest. I think I would also pick there. I think that's also a beautiful city. But I've been to Chicago at least once before, which makes me a fucking expert, okay? But I remember liking it a lot. I also just love the Chicago skyline. I think it is... I don't know. There's just something about Chicago where when I think American city, I think Chicago is easily up there. Like
I'm gonna have
in
to...
terms of heritage and history and transportation. And
I mean, it was like pretty much the last.
Chicago? It's got its own like cultures and subcultures. You of course have two different baseball teams. You got the Cubs, and you got the White Sox. You have a lot of like rivalry between different parts, the Cubs in one part of Chicago, the White Sox in another part of Chicago. I mean, it has problems that every American city has, but I don't think that's disqualifying. I think Chicago's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I will not put it higher than some of these other cities. There's a distinct list of cities in my mind where I go, yes, this is better than Chicago. But I think you have I will come down on my demand. It has to at least be a B tier.
I will settle for B tier, but I would definitely want to bring it down from A tier because my experience with Chicago has been the Chicago airport, and that's dog shit.
Are you fucking insane? Chicago Airport is an experience. I love going to O'Hare. Oh, it's such
imagine
sight.
showing up for a connecting flight because that's the only reason that you're in.
I know. Look, I've gone to Chicago O'Hare to get to Rochester before. Look, okay, I know.
Yeah.
But that place is literally like when I think about like impressive fucking infrastructure shit, I think O'Hare because that shit's a fucking city.
No,
like,
it's yeah, that's the problem.
It's like a city.
Imagine the worst setup possible to get from gate to gate. You have Chicago O'Hare.
It's beautiful. You go there, you're like, shit, you go there, you're like, all right, I've got an hour in between flights. That'll be fine. I'll just walk over to the next gate. And then you're like, oh shit, my gate's on the other end of this fucking complex.
Yeah, you need the entire
take me
fucking
an
hour.
To get me to the other.
Yeah, that's the problem. No.
I love it.
No.
You can't denounce an entire city just because you don't like the fucking airport.
No. Look at this shit. Look at this shit.
I can send New York City into the drink for the crime, which is JFK.
Look, I'm not, again, this is not comparing, this is not a relative comparison. I am grading Chicago, and my grade is gonna be influenced by the shit that is fucking O'Hare. Look at this. Look at this monstrosity. Fuck this. I hate it. I will settle for B tier if we are bringing it down from A tier based on O'Hare.
Tori's on this fucking call too, okay?
Well, Tori, do you have any takes? Do you have any hot takes for this?
Very little to say about Chicago. Without knowing anything, I was gonna be like, C for Chicago, but at least it has the bean and it's not Detroit. But apparently, Jacob's kind of convinced me that it has some redeeming factors, so I think I just don't know enough to
fine, we'll split the difference. We'll put it at Murky's B tier.
There we go.
B tier seems safe.
I think that's lower than it deserves to go. I definitely think Chicago is.
I think there are plenty of other cities that deserve to be above it. Is how I feel about it.
All right.
Yeah, but then you guys are going to start arguing that some of these California cities deserve to be up there, and I'm going to fucking fight.
I don't know, man. I've like from relative experience from other fucking CSHers who've gone out there, I think my opinion of the West Coast has significantly gone down from what I initially imagined it as. So, speaking of which, we've got San Francisco now. So, I don't know. Basically, for me, San Francisco has...
San Francisco, I think, is the highest you can go. It's one of the higher options you have for...
San Francisco is very interesting. I don't know if I would say it's one of the best. I would say it's one of the most popping. It's a
unique city. It's got a lot of stuff going on. It's different from the rest of California, especially geographically, just because of its location. I kind of like San Francisco. You got the Bay Bridge, you got Alcatraz, you got a lot of history happening in San Francisco too.
Gotta give credit for these
cool things.
Yeah, gotta give credit for these really fucking steep hills that they were like, you know what, fuck it, we're building a city on these hills.
That's kind of cool. It's
cool,
unique,
but it sucks. It's cool, but it sucks. It's objectively awful to get anywhere in San Francisco.
You have to understand, my statement is not don't put it high. My statement is we don't have to put this one in D tier.
Oh no, I would definitely not put this in D tier. I personally love San Francisco as a city, but there's just so much about it that's just so incredibly impractical. And it's incredible the climate, even within the city, differs from region to region and just neighborhood to neighborhood. It could be 90 in one neighborhood and 65.
I mean, that's just California, right? California can also have some pretty wild temperature differences.
But it's more than that. It's kind of what Tori was getting at, which is San Francisco's geographical location and the actual terrain it is built on create an environment which is just wacky, to say the least.
Yeah, it's just really weird. I will talk to a coworker that literally lives 2 neighborhoods away from another coworker. One of them says it's 90 and sunny, and the other one says, "What are you talking about? It's muggy and cold and awful and foggy." It is night and day. You can walk a couple blocks and you're experiencing very different weather. And obviously that's on an extreme day. But it's very strange, and that doesn't really happen in many other places.
I would toss San Francisco, in my mind, into B tier behind Chicago, or at least C tier.
Sure.
Yeah, I would say a high C, probably a B. I think I would give it a B.
I'm down with
there's
a
a lot
B.
going on.
My San Fran experience has been a touristy one, so it's skewed in that direction. But I'm down to put it in B if you guys are.
I mean, I just pretended to be just as crazy as everybody else I ran into when I was walking at night, so I wouldn't get mugged. So.
If you just act insane, it's all good.
Exactly. You just need to look like you're one of the people that nobody wants to mess with, and you're safe.
Yeah. All right. Next we have Philadelphia. All right. So look, this is gonna be another city where this one I've actually been to because it's way closer to where I live than most of these other cities.
Very famous field trip city for me.
But also, yeah, mostly a field trip city that I went to for school trips and stuff, and got to see a lot of cool historical shit there. But having interacted with one Braden, who has lived there.
Enlighten you on the experiences of Philly?
Yeah, these experiences beyond the historical stuff within Philly. Not as high tier as I originally probably would have put it. But I don't know. I think I'd still throw it maybe into B tier, just because I think that historical shit it has is pretty cool. And they also get points for having tour buses that just go into the water sometimes. Because
you took the words right out of my mouth, Nick. I know Tori is gonna have I assume some fighting words for us, but I think that Philly is kind of a C tier city that its history is what bumps it up to a B tier.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like Philly. Like, I'm not gonna argue with you guys. I would say like
Okay.
it's crazy historical. I love visiting. There's so much fun stuff to do. It's relatively, at least in my experience, safe. I don't feel like I'm gonna get mugged. So like, that's a really big part of cities for me, is if I am there and I feel like I'm going to get mugged, I don't like it.
Fair enough.
Counterpoint, just don't get mugged.
Just
Simply get good.
Just
Come
be
on.
built different. Come on. Yeah. All right. Sounds we're good with.
Well, are we putting it in front or behind San Francisco? I think this is.
I thought we weren't gonna be doing this relative. I thought this was just a grade, so it's not like.
Well, I feel like it's relative when it's inside the bracket.
Yeah, it's relative inside its own bracket. Yeah.
I'd be willing to put it in front of San Francisco, but that's personal bias. I don't know.
Philadelphia's on the East Coast. Get fucked, West Coast.
Yeah, there we go. Get dunked on. All right, next we have Portland.
Portland, I like Portland
Oregon.
a lot.
Oh, I have nothing to say about Portland, actually.
I also
think
have
Portland
nothing to say about Portland.
I have not been to Portland, but Portland is on my top places to visit. I really want to go there. I think from what I've seen, it's very beautiful. It's got it's very weird and unique in terms of its city.
Okay.
I don't know. It's got Oregon as a state is just weird in general too. I kind of like it. But once again, I do not know much about the city itself outside of the little research I've done about wanting to visit there.
Yeah, this certainly just looks like a city. Yeah, I think we don't really have that much.
I think it's got a lot of unique features that the Northwest Coast provides without it being Seattle, which I think is going to be a city where I go, man, I really like Seattle because Frasier and iCarly happened there. But other than that, get that shit out of here.
I've done a little bit of research because I'm moving there, so I have some things to say about Seattle.
I don't know. I'd put Portland either C tier or behind San Fran.
Yeah, I'd be willing to just throw it into C tier, almost just based on not knowing it. Or we could do B tier.
Lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge.
C-tier,
let's do a C tier for lack of knowledge.
All right.
Yeah. If I had no reason to know about the city, I feel like that says enough.
Now we got one Baltimore, Maryland.
This is a Jacob city.
All right, this is a Jacob city. Tell me about it. I don't know.
Baltimore's in Maryland. Maryland's a bad state. I'm from Virginia. Fuck Maryland. Send it to the D tier.
Damn. Okay.
I'm just kidding. So Baltimore, I like Baltimore than some of the other people I live around. But Baltimore historically is a city that has not gotten the attention it needs from its state. And is criminally underserved. And it's not great. Not in a great state economically. They got the Baltimore Orioles, who were supposed to be good this year, but they're ass this year.
Great.
And I think this Baltimore straddles the line between a C and a D. I personally like Baltimore and probably would put it on a C tier, or maybe even higher for sentimental value.
Yeah.
But I think on paper, I think a lot of people I know would put it in the D tier.
Yeah. I have only been there for just touristing. I think I actually. God, did I go to BronyCon here in 2013? I think
Is that
don't
what
have to admit
BronyCon was?
I think that might have been where it was in 2013.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's got
Is there like a popular aquarium on the
yes,
waterfront
the
there?
Baltimore
Okay.
Aquarium is on the waterfront. It replaced. So that is the one thing that I will say. As someone who likes aquariums, the National Aquarium has been closed. You have to go to the Baltimore one, and it serves its purpose.
Okay.
That is what I would say. Putting it on a C tier.
Yeah, I think we can put it.
I kind of the problem with D tier is there are some certain cities where I would think, yeah, slap that bad boy in D.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
You're not feeling that for Baltimore?
I'm not feeling that for Baltimore. I understand that's my personal sentiment. I know there are people in Baltimore who would disagree with me.
Yeah.
But Baltimore holds a nice little warm part in my heart because it's like a neighboring city. I've met a lot of people from Baltimore.
I'm down to put it in.
I would put it in the C tier.
I'm down to put it behind Portland. Maybe like bottom of the C tier.
That's fine. That's acceptable.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
You got any final thoughts, Tori? Are we good?
No, I think C is perfectly good. I have nothing to say about Baltimore for or against. So.
Okay. Next we have.
There's actually a couple cool songs named Baltimore.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, for that I would put it above Portland. I don't know anything.
I don't know. I feel like I know enough, and Jacob knows enough unfavorable things about Baltimore to put it behind Portland.
That's fair.
This is not Baltimore City's fault. I would like to make that perfectly clear. This has nothing to do with
but we're taking in all
the state of Maryland.
Right. But that plays a part in our city rankings. How the state and the municipalities have serviced these cities affects how they exist in the current sphere of existence. So. All right, next we have Denver, Colorado, which I personally don't know much about, but I've heard very good things.
Very good things to say about Denver. Colorado was like the first state to legalize weed, right? And Denver was huge on that. Denver was huge for that. So I'm a fan. Let me see. What else? I mean, the weather is nice there from what I could tell. Close skiing places.
Very
the
beautiful.
Mountains, gorgeous. It's a gorgeous place, gorgeous city. Very nice people from what I've heard. A friend of mine just moved there. She's having a great time.
Yeah, I've only heard good things about Denver, personally.
I think Denver could be a high B, low A tier.
I think I'm willing to put this in A. I think this might be our first A tier of the day.
With no knowledge, we put it in A. Woo!
Listen, it's just I've heard, again, it's a similar thing of hearing from other people. I've heard enough good things. And, proportionally, I don't feel like I've heard really much of any bad things about Denver, except for maybe some political stuff, which is fair, but,
Denver is one of the few cities that I would probably want to live in for being in a landlocked state.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I don't like landlocked states. I don't like being landlocked. I like being near a large body of water that I can not go to, but know it's there.
To acknowledge that the water's there. Gotta respect the water. But
so yeah.
All right, let's throw it in there.
Now we're Honolulu.
This is another Jacob City.
Oh, Honolulu. Holy shit.
Honolulu is great. My only qualm is that the strength of Honolulu is only based off of the Hawaii connection.
Sure.
I think a lot of stuff outside of Honolulu, you can get a fuck ton more fun out of just the central part of Honolulu. But I also think Honolulu in general is a really fun city to at least visit.
Yeah.
So, I have a very cool that I think that might understand why I like Honolulu so much. So one of my friends, what he does to cope with life, and if he decides he has had enough of life for a while, instead of self-harm or going into dark things or going into a dark place, what he does, he buys a one-way ticket to Honolulu, and he just decides to be homeless there for however long it takes for him to feel better. And that's how he copes with life. And I think that says enough about the city of Honolulu that I am willing to put it in A tier, or even city on top. I don't actually no. I don't think city on top.
So
of a
my
hill.
only thing
But-
about city on top on a hilltop, and this is why I easily think that I would never put Honolulu below an A tier.
Yeah.
I as someone who's lived in Honolulu,
Yeah.
I do think it is a fucking amazing city. But once again, I think I attribute that to it being in Hawaii, and that means you have access to the rest of the islands.
Right.
And I think
This is
you being
the
able
only...
to experience the rest of Hawaii is one of the most wonderful things.
Yeah.
I also think
someone
that's
could-
one of the valuable
experience.
things is that Honolulu is not far from a lot of
Yes,
very
exactly,
amazing
exactly.
things.
As a city, exactly.
Right.
The downside is that Honolulu is A, fucking insanely costly, and B, full of a bunch of rich tourists who price out people who live there. It's a Seattle situation, kind of, if you think about it. Wow, this city is in a pretty good location. I wonder if anyone can afford to live here. Oh, no. What happened?
Simply
Yeah.
be homeless.
Yeah, I mean, the
It's
fact that
not an
that's,
awful
like, a
place to be in.
legitimate, viable option that doesn't leave you, like, I mean, like, the weather factor is big, and that's the same thing with a lot of, like, West Coast cities. I don't know. I think it's a little privileged that they are able to get the plane ticket out there, and I don't think that's something that any homeless person could be like, I'll just be homeless in Hawaii. That'll work. But yeah, I think it is a huge factor that, like, the weather is basically almost always perfect in Hawaii, except for when there's, like, tsunamis and shit, which is the one, would be my personal reason. This is just a me thing. Me no like being in the middle of the ocean. Touring there, fine. Being there for living,
It's
I
fine.
don't know about that one, Chief.
It's
much
fine.
water.
Hawaii sinking?
It's not like you're just fucking like right next to the water at all points. You can literally just go inland. You can still see the water from the mountain. But
Yeah,
like,
I know,
it's
but then my
fine.
home can still get destroyed if I ended up living there, like, and
Nick,
especially
your
for
home can get destroyed in Syracuse. You want to know why? I'm coming down there right now.
Oh shit, okay.
It's a threat.
Well, alright, but
in
anyways,
Minecraft. I meant
it's-
his home in Minecraft.
Hey.
it sounds like we can settle on this being high A tier. Maybe just enough things to keep it out of...
I think it is arguably a shining city on a hilltop. But I think it straddles the line between A tier or S tier.
Yeah, I would say A between A and S tier. High A, definitely.
I would put
High
in
A.
high A. Alright, let's do that. then.
I'm Nick. I don't think it should go in S tier because it's on island.
That's literally
It's in
it.
the middle of the water.
But it is very high in A tier.
Stitch literally can't swim, and he's like, Hawaii's my favorite place on the Citadel.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what he's
fucking
saying.
Stitch, doesn't he? How can he not swim? He has, like, all of the fucking powers of
Nick,
every
he
other
can't-
fucking
Did you fucking
mutant.
miss the fucking every aspect about Stitch's character in Lilo and Stitch and every associated property? He can't fucking swim. He sinks. His mass is too dense.
Oh my god,
sinks.
fucked up. Isn't there? But he has all the powers of the other ones, doesn't he? Or is that
Nick,
not? Is
Nick,
that not the
this
case?
is literally the one of the central plots of the fucking of Lilo and Stitch, the very first one, where they were like, oh shit, he's gonna land in the water. Perfect. He can't swim. He's gonna sink to the bottom of the ocean. And then the joke
Oh.
is that he lands in Hawaii, a literal dot of land in the middle of the goddamn Pacific. And
Very
then the
good.
next joke is when he goes around the island looking for a major city, and Lilo goes, "Yeah, isn't it great? We're literally living on an island in the middle of the ocean with no major cities."
All right. No, I forgot that. I need to watch Lilo and Stitch again. It's probably been years at this point.
This would be a good time to do that.
Anyways, now we got Stand Up Miami. That's the official name for Miami now. It's Stand Up Miami. I don't know. I feel like the main thing I've heard about this city is it just kind of was where the drug trade was booming back in the 80s, and I don't know
Miami
if it's ever gotten
Vice,
better
good
than that.
show. Miami Vice, good movie. Miami is in Florida, so put it in D tier.
I'm down for that! Dory, unless you have any arguments for keeping it down at a D for...
If you're in, sorry, I think there are some actual like good things about Miami. I think, like you said, the waterfront's amazing.
I never said that.
The city nightlife is kind of like crazy.
Uh-huh.
Not crazy bad, but like it has
It'd be
a very
wild
vibrant
and-
nightlife from what I've heard.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like an actual major city in Florida, which we're gonna get to Orlando later, and I'm gonna argue that one should that the city specifically should go in D tier.
Oh, I wouldn't deny that. Like,
But I haven't experienced Miami that much, so maybe I'm just ignorant. But B, Miami is in Florida, and Florida is a hellscape of a state, and I can say that I was born in Florida. Fuck that state. Send it to the shadow zone.
I thought you were born in Hawaii, or you guys just got deployed out.
I lived in Hawaii.
Yeah,
I was born in Florida.
I see.
You've been a lot.
Sorry for your loss.
This is what happens when you're the son of a person who's in the Navy.
Good old Navy. All right, yeah, no, I'm willing to agree with Florida trash. Therefore, Florida City trash. Sorry, Miami. We'll pick up some of your designer drugs sometime, but otherwise you're in D tier. Now we're on to Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Say simply be better, but there's hard stuck bad.
Minneapolis, I would put in B.
I like
or
Minneapolis.
high C. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say B, or I would say B, to be honest. I really like Minneapolis. It's just in St. Paul is fantastic. Yeah. They have an awesome science museum, and the Mall of America is pretty close.
Exactly. Oh, that's what I was going to bring up. I think the twin city nature of Minneapolis is what really gives it its strength. It's a very beautiful city. Politically, a lot of stuff happened there, but even surrounding that, like, and the problems with the police department there, like the city itself, I think is pretty cool. I think it's pretty beautiful. It's like I mentioned earlier. I think I would put it up there in terms of cities in the Midwest I would actually live in.
I would say maybe we bump it down to high C tier because of their police shit, but I don't know. Maybe because they're like working on that whole defunding process, but it's still a long way from actualization. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I would put it low B, high C.
Just put it low B. I think Tori and I are slightly higher on it than you are, and you can put it low B. So you can put it at the end, behind
San Fran.
I don't like putting it behind.
Yeah, I think we can put it above San Fran. Actually, we can put it above.
I understand we're literally 3 people from the East Coast, and we're showing our East Coast bias, but I don't give a fuck.
That is what this show is.
Yep. Now we've got Detroit.
Detroit is C tier.
Damn! Alright, but it's literally called D for Detroit.
It's literally D for Detroit.
We can put it above Miami.
You can. That's fine. You can put it in D for Detroit, but I will fight. Yeah, Detroit has a history attached to it, which in recent years is bad. But that is not Detroit's fault. It's partially the city of Detroit's fault by not putting all those goose eggs in the auto industry. But Detroit is a city with a lot of history. It's a city with a lot of socioeconomic issues that I think are reflective across a lot of America. And I think that Detroit itself is a city that is working to redefine itself after a catastrophic collapse. And I think it is slowly trying to come out of that. I think it is a very interesting city. It has a lot of this old, beautiful architecture. And you can put it in D for Detroit, but I think it has to at least be high D for Detroit.
Sure,
it also has a lot of like interesting stuff. I know that there's like local ISPs that are starting up, which offer like gigabit internet that are challenging.
Yeah, they're trying. They literally. I think the thing is that they have gotten a bad rap because they kind of have hit the like almost rock bottom of cities in the U.S. in terms of getting fucked over by their main industry leaving them. Like Trenton, to a much lesser extent, got hit in a similar way with a lot of their industry leaving. But like, so when you're at rock bottom, you the only way you got is up. So they are literally just trying anything and everything to get people back in the city, get work back in the city, and all that stuff. I think I was watching, what was it? I think my parents had on This Old House, and they were talking about this program that they have, I believe it was in Detroit, where they are just renovating, like, really run down and abandoned and, like, ransacked houses in low-income neighborhoods in Detroit, but then offering them back to the market at a low-income housing value so that people, just so they can get people back in homes. You know?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about. It's like
Get
it's
people
almost
off the
like a
streets.
city that literally needs to reinvent itself at its base level. And there's a lot of cool, interesting. I don't want to say cool because I don't know about the outcomes of everything, but interesting stuff happening in this.
They're just trying shit.
So I will let you put it in D for Detroit because haha, that's what the list said. But I do think that
I just don't think it has gotten
every
out
other
of D
city-
for Detroit yet. It is definitely trying. It's throwing a bunch of shit at the wall, and I think if it sticks, it's gonna be great. And then they can really reinvent themselves. I just don't think they're there yet. So I think we're still gonna be putting it in D for
I've honestly
Detroit.
thought about moving out to Detroit, and I think that's why I also want to defend it. But like I said, I'm willing for you to put Detroit in D for Detroit.
Okay.
Put it at the top. with D
Yeah,
for Detroit.
no, for sure.
I think
It's
maybe
repping its tier in the best way it can. So it's got to be top of D for Detroit tier. Next we have Seattle with the big ol' needle.
Woo!
So this is another city I've only been to
I like,
vacationing.
even though we put Portland in C tier, I like Portland more than Seattle from what I know about it, and that's my opinion. Tori, take it away.
So I'm a bit of a slut for Seattle. Like S for slut for Seattle.
That's
like,
what the
I
S
fucking
stands
love it.
for.
That's what the S stands for. I fucking love it. I think the tourism is great, but honestly, I love the public markets. Pike's Place Market, fantastic. The seafood, fantastic. There's tons of shit to do. Downtown is great. Uptown, not much to do. Capitol Hill is great. Very gay neighborhood. We love to see it. There's a lot of really cool stuff nearby. And it's like the housing market is not awful considering the type of city it is. The first Starbucks is there. There's a ton. Oh, the Boeing Airplane Museum and like factory. You can go and tour and like see them how they assemble like Boeing planes. It's really cool. It's so cool. What else? There's tons of state parks nearby and like reasonable driving distance. Or not state parks, national parks.
Yeah.
Good shit. There's Olympia. Yellowstone is not too far.
It's a
And
little ways
Vancouver
away,
Wars
isn't
2
it?
was in Seattle.
You know, in comparison, like Yellowstone, come on, it's like we don't have a Yellowstone on the East Coast. Like
That is true. We have
Like
the Adirondack
Yellowstone.
Mountains that
How dare
literally
you talk
go
about
from
the
the
Blue
top of the
Ridge
East
Mountains
Coast.
like that?
Yeah, we got the
Alright.
Adirondack mountain chain that literally goes from the top to the bottom of the East Coast.
yeah, but
go
nobody
off.
on the West Coast is talking about the Adirondack Mountains when they
That's because
have
that's because
their
they don't
mountains.
appreciate
Yeah.
history,
Yeah,
Tori.
they don't know what's up with the
They don't
Adirondacks.
know.
They have a bigger, better mountains.
Mm-mm.
And it's also pretty close to Vancouver as well, also close to Whidbey Island. It's fairly nice. I think my biggest complaint is that the water is always cold there, but it is not landlocked. So there's that.
Damn, northern
Toss
water be
Seattle in
cold?
B tier and
Yeah,
let's get
the
this
water
over
is
with.
fucking freezing. It's never warm, and I hate it. But it's okay.
Yeah,
That's why
I mean,
both exist.
I think the only thing I can think of off the top of my head, which I feel like I kind of could just throw out at most major cities that have been in the news lately, is just that they've got some police issues, but kind of all police are police issues, so I don't know how
Yeah, I mean-
how
I think
heavily
if the
I can
statement is
weight that.
ACAB, I'm not really gonna weight that per
Yeah, I don't know.
City police being problematic?
Wow!
Da Vinci?
Maybe this is just because I need to believe it, but right now I think Seattle is the promised land. So
Okay.
Toss Seattle in the B tier. That's what I'm voting.
All right. All right. Yeah, I think I'm down to put it into B tier. I will put it above.
You put it. Look,
Put it-
Tori
put
loves
it
it so
above
much.
Minneapolis.
Put it no. You
above-
put it above Chicago.
Put it above
I-
Chicago. Damn.
I-
Okay. Okay.
I know how much Tori wants it. I'm willing to say put it above Chicago.
I appreciate you.
All right. All right. San Antonio, a city
Oh,
I
I
know
have some-
nothing about. Go
I have
off,
some
Tori.
interesting things to say about San Antonio. Apparently, it's quite nice.
Okay.
All I really know is about the military base near there and like just that general vibe. But my ex-boyfriend really liked it.
Toss San Antonio into above Baltimore, and I'm moving on.
Yeah,
that's fine with
really
me.
all I gotta say about it.
I mean, Texas got some nice stuff
gun
going
zone,
on.
I guess
Uh,
Texas.
Texas, another state that can go into the Gulf. That's all I care. Man,
Uh,
I'm really doing wonders for what people. Will
all
think
right,
about me in the
Cleveland.
future.
At least they're not Detroit. Let's throw them into C tier.
No, they are worse than Detroit. I'm putting.
Damn. Okay. All
I
right.
have worse things to say about Cleveland than I do about Detroit.
Did you have things to say about Detroit?
Not really. Yeah, that's kind of it. I don't have anything to say about Detroit except that I know it's bad, and Cleveland is not.
Cleveland. I'm surprised Cleveland is on this list and that it can consider itself a city. That's my opinion of Cleveland.
Jesus, all right. I mean, I don't have anything to defend it with, but like, except that video that I thought was pretty funny. But that video was also making fun of Cleveland, so
Cleveland's
I guess
in Ohio. How many times do I have to say it on this podcast? Ohio, worst state in the union.
It's worse than Florida? Yeah, see? I don't know, man. You gotta pick.
I'm just saying, that chick in that one Bowling for Soup song left Texas to go with a guy to Cleveland, and that's fucking
And
pathetic.
that was a mistake.
That was a
the
mistake.
point of the song. Yeah.
But yeah, the whole point of the song was saying, like, I guess there's some things to do in Cleveland, but come on.
Are we gonna put Cleveland below Miami?
No,
leave it
above Miami, below Detroit.
Okay, all right. So we've reverted to Florida being worst state still. Which
Orlando.
It's a good thing that Orlando's next.
Yeah,
Put it below
Orlando's-
Miami, and let's move on.
below or above Miami? Which one did you say?
Below.
Above
Are you
Below.
crazy?
Above Miami, at least there's Disney.
No, that's not in the city. That's in the surrounding suburbs. Orlando is nothing.
But it's proximity. But we've considered proximity.
Guess what? Guess what? I'm 12 hours away from Disney World, and I will drive there. I don't
See, but you're an
city of
insane
Orlando
person,
gains-
though. I don't
city
know
of
why you're
Orlando
doing that.
Gains nothing. The city of Orlando gains nothing from it. They could put Disney anywhere. It doesn't matter. That did not benefit the city.
All right.
That's fair. It did not really benefit the city.
I'm ready to fight.
I'm not gonna fight you on that. There's literally nothing I know about Orlando. I literally only know about there's an airport that I land in, and then I go to Disney World from that airport. So, I really can't fight you on that one. Orlando, bottom of the Detroit tier.
San Diego. I know nothing about San Diego except for
San Diego, I've heard, is better than San Francisco, or nicer than San Francisco.
They've got a
Safer
cool
than San
zoo,
Francisco.
and
they do have a pretty flapping
They
zoo.
do have.
but they
the
also have
zoo.
SeaWorld, so that kind of negates the cool.
Yeah,
zoo. I
I'd
don't
say
know.
that's.
We can put it above San Francisco. Again, that's
San
another.
Diego is definitely an interesting city.
Yeah.
I think I would put it right behind San Francisco, but that's just my preference for California cities. I like in the West Coast. I like things that are more northern than they are.
But
in the
counterpoint,
South,
if you
that
want
is
to go to
my
Mexico, it's pretty close. You could just take a trip across
You're
the border if you want
telling
to.
someone
But
who
we're-
just said he doesn't like the warm temperature. Hey, did you know that you have easier access to warmer temperature?
I don't know, man. I can't really argue strong enough, like anything strong enough to put it above San Francisco. I just have a feeling that I would like to put it above San Francisco.
Okay, just put it above San Francisco. I've got no horse in this race.
Okay. All right. Do you have any opinions, Tori, of?
So I personally feel like I like San Francisco more than I like San Diego, purely just because I've been to San Francisco more.
Yeah.
I don't really have a reason to go to San Diego, but I feel like if I went to San Diego, I would like it more than San Francisco, so I really don't have much of an opinion.
All right.
That is understandable.
I'm gonna executive order this above San Francisco at this point because we're editing.
It's not an
past.
executive order if we all agree.
Yeah, but you
Really
guys were like
are.
flip. Nobody agreed on anything. We were all just like, "Hey, it could be above, it could be below." So I'm just gonna put
Yeah,
it
it's
above.
okay. I assume people won't agree with me on this statement.
Yeah,
but
I
I'm
have a
ready
hot
to
take.
fight.
All right,
I have a hot
all right.
take.
I will throw out
I'm
my
ready.
take before you guys do.
I'm ready to fucking fight. I can feel Tori
like
ready to disagree
New York,
with me.
New York. I think it's fun. I like
Yeah,
it.
I love.
hate New York.
Oh boy!
New York is the one I've been saving my back pocket. New York is my shining city on a hilltop.
Wow! I don't know about
fly.
that. I don't know about that.
No.
New York is up there. I used to be one of those people who I remember when I was younger, I was like, man, I love New York City. And then I got to the point where I met other people and they're like, New York bad. I don't like New York City. New York bad. And I was like, man, I guess they're right. I assume other people have more life experience than me. And then I go and visit New York for my birthday, and I'm like, shit, dude, I love this goddamn
Ready?
city.
Ready?
Okay.
I grew up. going to the city basically every weekend. Like I would consider myself.
That's the beauty of
almost
being
a
in New
New Yorker.
Jersey. It's a day
but
trip
you're
to
in
New
New
York.
Jersey, so you don't
But
have any
both of
voting
my-
rights. I'm
both- no,
stripping
no, no.
them
Both
from
of
you.
My grandparents
and...
live in New York, both sides of them, and
Mhm.
it's like I used to love it. I actually used to love going to New York because that was like the one time where I had some like degree of freedom as a child. And then I grew up, I realized it's fucking disgusting. There is so much smog. The air is
It's
awful. The people
character,
suck.
Tori.
The only
It's got
good
so many
things about
boroughs. You
it-
can choose what fucking trash you smell
okay.
every morning.
Yeah, there's so many. It's the trash scent, and like, okay, all right. You know what I like about it? I like the art museum. The art museum's cool. The what's the name of the museum?
That's
the
it.
Museum
You're
of
just like
Natural History
things
is
to do in New
cool.
York. The art
I like-
museum. That's the
I
only
like
thing
the
that comes
nuts
to
for nuts
mind.
stands. I like the nuts for nuts stands. Those are fantastic. We love sugar covered nuts. That's great. Don't clip that. And Central Park is really cool, but everyone in it is assholes. All of them are assholes.
It's New Yorker, baby. It's the
I
New
love
Yorker
New
lifestyle.
I
And
love
I'm
New York.
gonna
I
get
love going to
mugged.
New York. I love staying in New York. I love New
And it's
York.
expensive as
I love
fuck, but the pizza
Newsies.
is good.
I will
love
agree.
the Big Apple. I love the Mets. I love the Nets.
I'm gonna have to side with Jacob on this one. Yes, it smells like trash when you get off the train into Grand Central. Okay, it sucks. But at the same
How dare
time,
you clip that?
it's fantastic. All right, because there's literally something to do around every fucking corner. All right.
It literally. It's not only that. It has the best version of everything to do around every corner.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, no,
There is.
that's not
You're
true.
fucking nuts.
You
Tori.
you are insane if
The
you don't believe
movies,
this.
The theater.
The theaters are
culture.
The culture's fucking disgusting.
No.
And I love it.
Nah,
Oh,
you got Broadway, you got Central Park, you got everything surrounding Central Park, like all the fucking dope ass museums. You got fucking what?
AOC's from New York. Tori said she doesn't like AOC. That's what she said.
Damn, confirmed,
She just
confirmed,
said
confirmed.
I can't believe it, Tori.
And then you've got shit.
There's really
What's the massive
There's
stadium
no
that I'm forgetting? That's right above New York Penn
Square
Station.
Garden?
Yeah, Madison Square
Well,
Garden. You got all the
Madison
fucking
Square.
cool events that are going on there all the time, every
I-
day,
Do you know how
all
many
day, every day.
other
I want to be
big event
clear.
Centers are there?
I
Like,
want to be clear. I don't think I would put New York as my favorite city of all time
Okay.
in a list.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
there's just like when you're making a tier list, you're
Yeah.
not gonna put in that as
I
fucking tier.
think-
It's
I
literally
will drag you down
define.
at least-
Like I understand I made this argument for Chicago. But
Yeah.
that's because I think of Chicago in like an Americana sense of like as an American, when I think like Midwest city, I'm like or like America, like just America.
Yeah.
I think Chicago. But when I think of like what literally defines cities around the fucking globe,
It's New York.
It's New York,
It's
goddamn
fucking
city.
New York. I will literally some of the detracting points I have against it is just that they have.
Madagascar 1 is set for the first half
It is
in
fucking
New York City.
romanticized. It is romanticized, and it is a piece of shit, and I'm
No,
gonna stand
no,
by that.
no. Tori, you've called out the bad features of it. I understand, but the fact that you get into New York City and you experience enough of it that you love it in spite of its detriments. Okay, look, I'm just as
The traffic is fucking awful.
don't
Why would
fucking
you have a
drive.
fucking car in New York City?
Yeah.
They designed a fucking
There's
city for you
so
not to have a
much
car.
traffic and that it interferes with 3 states: Connecticut, New York, and
Tori,
New Jersey.
you're letting
Well, that
your
sounds like
New
a them
Jersey-
problem.
Your New Jersey bias is showing,
New
Tori.
Jersey
I'm from New
bias.
Jersey.
I'm
It sounds like
entitled
that's
to
just a
my
New Jersey
bias.
problem that you can put aside for the city. It's all I'm saying. You just
I
take
wouldn't put it aside
You
from
just-
the city because
Tori.
it is because of the city.
Tori, if you just fucking take the train in, there's no issues. And then if you're living there, then it's not a problem because you just don't get a car and then
And
you
it's
just walk
fucking
around.
expensive.
Tori,
I mean, okay.
don't come at me with it's fucking expensive when you were defending Seattle literally 5 minutes ago.
That's true.
Cheaper
That's
than
true.
New York.
Tori, don't fucking come at me with this. I literally work on a project called the Cost of Living Index where I look at the cost of living in different cities. Don't fucking tell me how much it fucking costs. I cannot reveal those numbers as they are the property of my company that I work
Oh.
for.
Ah, lovely. I think
Okay.
there's also a difference in metric. Tori, are you looking at apartment rentals or are you looking at owning a home in Seattle? I think those are
Also-
two different numbers.
Also, if
Oh,
you're
I was
talking
looking
about
at both.
cost in New York, guess what? Yeah, okay. Manhattan does have the highest cost, but that's literally one part of New York. Congratulations. I solved the problem beforehand. You can literally look at different parts of the city of
There
New York.
are
It's almost like
parts
New
of the
York's
city.
fucking huge.
The
The
different
difference
boroughs.
is, I've never personally looked into housing. Like I've looked at the numbers just because I'm like, oh, let me see the
Oh,
big
so it
numbers.
sounds
let
like a
me see the
you
numbers.
problem at
Max,
this
don't care
point.
about your feelings,
But
Tori. I hope you
don't even
understand
looking
that.
because fuck New York.
No.
Anyway,
no.
where are we ranking this? Where are we ranking this?
We're going high A tier, if not S tier. I'm looking at these cities, the ones that are left, because we've already put all the other ones in their place. Like New York, Washington D.C., and maybe Austin are the only ones I could look at and possibly argue for a shining city on a hilltop. Like I don't
worry,
see anything else here.
I'm about to argue for Washington D.C. being high A tier,
Yeah.
but not shining city on.
That's fine. That's fine. But that's legitimately New York is one of like the very few cities I see here where I could argue that it's shining city on a hilltop. So I am putting it in a high A tier. If Tori's gonna drag it down from S tier, then so be it. But I cannot put it any lower than A tier.
My personal opinion is I like Honolulu a lot better than New York, and I'm a bit overstating my hatred of New York. It's like obviously like I'm nearby, like there is some love in my heart for it,
Yeah.
but like, you know, I can't get behind the hype. I can't. Like it's like having been there enough to know I don't like it personally. Like
Yeah.
that is just where I stand.
I'm definitely willing to put it. I'm gonna put it above Denver. It's a question of do we put it above Honolulu? I say we do.
What do you think, Jacob?
The problem is I really love Hawaii, but I think
As
I
cities go,
I think when
New
it
York
comes
beats it
to
out.
city, rather than when I'm looking at the city itself, I'm gonna put New York above Honolulu.
Okay.
Like that.
If someone was like, "Hey, here are 2 tickets. You can either go to New York City or go to Honolulu," I would pick Honolulu easily.
Mhm.
But when it comes to cities and the multifaceted aspect of that statement, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with New York.
Yeah. All right.
Understandable.
With that out of the way, we have basically 10 minutes left until the podcast is supposed to be done. So we should probably speed
It's okay.
run some
A lot of
these
these are going to be easy.
Yeah.
Indianapolis, C
C
tier.
for Corey. Yeah.
C tier.
Another
Put
Ohio.
Indianapolis below Portland. I don't really care where you put it anywhere.
I'm gonna put it below San Antonio, and that's where it's gonna
That's
stay.
fine. I've been to Indianapolis once. It was fine.
Pittsburgh, too close to the rest of Pennsylvania, low C tier.
Disagree. I think Pittsburgh is
like
a shining
Pittsburgh.
city inside Pennsylvania.
Oh,
I think it is
okay.
literally the one redeeming factor. I would put it B tier.
B
Here
tier.
below San Francisco.
Yeah, you can put it B tier below San Francisco.
Hold on. All right. Well, actually, I don't have any strong points. I've never been there. All right. You said below San Francisco.
I've been to Pittsburgh once. I like Pittsburgh. I
Yeah,
think it's a very
actually,
beautiful
yeah,
city.
I like Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna
The
say
Atlantic
Atlantic
City,
City, New
D
Jersey,
tier.
D tier. Absolutely. We're
Below
gonna put it above
Orlando.
Florida.
Yeah, below Orlando.
Whoa.
Below
Hold
Orlando.
on.
Atlantic City can eat my whole goddamn ass, Nick.
I
Fuck
could put
Atlantic
it. I
City.
could put it below Miami, but are we really gonna put it below Orlando? Can we put it above Orlando?
Yeah, we'll put it
Fine.
above Orlando. Fine.
It
At
is-
least I'll go to Atlantic City for the meme.
I
I won't do that.
the one memory I have of Atlantic City, New Jersey is that we went to, I don't know why we went there, but we didn't it was me and my parents, so we weren't going to like the casinos or whatever, but we went to the boardwalk there, and I went to like one of these little old arcade places, and they had that game where it's literally just a ball spinning around like a multicolored ring, and then you just like stop the spin after a certain time, and then you get tickets based on if you predicted the correct spot where the ball's gonna land in the ring. And I got it.
You mean roulette?
I won. Yeah, basically, but like for children. And I got it right like 15 times in a row, and I got so many fucking tickets from that.
That
So
says enough about Atlantic City. I go there to buy the candy brawn panties. Like that's it.
okay, you know
We're
what?
being sent to hell.
We're gonna move on now. Memphis.
Memphis below
Tennessee.
Portland. Let's move on.
below Portland. Hold on, that's
Is it
like pretty
Memphis
high
where
tier.
Elvis was from? Or where Elvis lived?
No, that's why you put Honolulu up there.
Oh, true.
He might have lived in
Memphis.
Tennessee, but his home was Hawaii. In my opinion.
Yeah, Tennessee. I don't know enough about Memphis, so that's
Atlanta. Atlanta exists in Georgia. Georgia continues to be a state, but it is run by Brian Kemp. Also, Atlanta, I've heard, has some of the worst traffic in the country.
Where are you seeing Atlanta? Oh, we're still at downtown Anchorage. Hold on.
Oh, my bad. I think I accidentally moved downtown Anchorage around in my list, so I've been following along with a list of my own just so I can keep track.
That's fucking Alaska, right?
Yeah, that's Alaska.
That's Alaska? Question mark? What are you?
I'm just trying to make sure there wasn't some other Anchorage that I was forgetting.
Anchorage is cool. I put it above Portland.
I have little to say about it, but
I have little to say,
cool.
so I'm putting it in
heard
C
it's
tier
cool.
because of lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
You said below Portland. I'm gonna put it below Memphis, I think. Honestly, we don't know enough about downtown Anchorage to make some real opinions about it. It's basically all I know is just Alaska, and then
Alaska
there's a
is a
city in
unique enough
Alaska.
state that I want to put it above the Tennessee city.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I mean, the mountains are pretty cool, Kenneth. We just don't know enough about it.
Atlanta goes behind Anchorage, above Memphis.
Really? What is putting it above all these other things for you? I could put it above like Indianapolis.
I don't know enough about Memphis. All right, fine. Put it behind San Antonio.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, Cincinnati. Cincinnati Bengals. Love them. I'm gonna put it high C tier.
Cincinnati is Ohio. Put it below Baltimore.
What the?
I think Cincinnati is better than Cleveland, but
I got no horse in this race.
My only horse in this race is the Bengals. They have the Bengals. Please let me put it above Baltimore.
But the Bengals are a bad team.
Yeah, but I like them because they're Tigers. Let me put them above Baltimore, please. Begging you. Nah, it's fine.
My face.
Listen, I used to like the Miami Dolphins, and that didn't change how I felt about Miami.
That's fair. All right.
Washington D.C. A tier city at the very least.
Yeah, DC. I am down to argue for Washington D.C. being very high tier city.
It's very cool. I like it.
I don't know if I put it above Honolulu. I would probably put it above Denver.
I'm fine with putting it.
Put it above
honestly,
Denver.
I'm fine behind it above or below Denver. I just wanted an A tier.
Austin, Texas. Been there a couple times for Rooster Teeth convention. Very fucking cool city. Like it a lot. Love the live music scene, and I love that it is the sole liberal bastion in all of Texas. It's very nice.
Yeah, my counterpoint would be it's in Texas. I hate Texas. It's hot. Don't like. But I'm fine with you putting it wherever you feel like it is culturally relevant.
I'm gonna put
like it.
I'm gonna put it above Denver in A tier.
You're putting it in A tier?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in A tier. A tier is where it belongs. The problem is that it's becoming a new fucking like Silicon Valley, and so the housing market is exploding right now, and that's not great. But like, I don't know. It's still such a cool city, at least as it exists currently. I have a feeling things are gonna change in the near future with all the fucking rich assholes.
Put Kansas City with Memphis. Put can we move San Antonio? Oh, San Antonio. Yeah.
San Antonio is just like middle of C tier because we basically know nothing about it.
Move San Antonio up. I think San Antonio
is Kansas City.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, Kansas City goes behind Memphis in my opinion, and move San Antonio up above Memphis.
Wait. So, move Memphis behind San Antonio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then put Kansas City above Memphis?
I was going to say behind Memphis.
Behind Memphis, okay. Is that Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, the other state?
Missouri.
Because it's Kansas City, Missouri. Okay.
Yes.
I don't really know anything about either of them, so that's
fine. Los Angeles fucking blows, but it does have Hollywood. I'm putting it in, C tier. I'm
gonna put it up. I'm gonna put it top of C tier. I think I would argue for top
of C tier.
I think
no, I won't let you put it above Portland. You can put it behind Portland.
Yeah,
and just
put
say
it
it's better than
behind
the rest of it.
Portland.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
all right.
Fuck Los Angeles.
There's
all right.
a lot of bad things about Los Angeles.
I understand there are a lot of bad things about Los Angeles. That's fair.
New Orleans is a city that has cool parts to it. It's got a lot of history. That's kind of cool, but I have no desire to really go there. But I've heard it's a very good city.
Yeah,
Alligator.
I think alligator. I think the history behind it seems pretty cool. It seems like a very
C tier around the Los Angeles area.
Above Los Angeles.
I would put it above LA.
Los
Yeah,
Angeles.
if we're settling on LA being garbage city, then yeah. Phoenix,
I have
Arizona.
been to Phoenix. Phoenix is very interesting. I think it deserves some recognition. I think we'll end up putting it in C tier, but I'm going to say it's behind Los Angeles.
Yeah. You know what? I'll agree with that. I've been to Phoenix as well. I've basically experienced just the fucking old Cowboy West like fucking circle jerk, because my parents love that. But at the same time, it's got its charm. So I'll put it. Yeah.
Las Vegas C tier behind.
No, hold on. I want to argue for the beauty that is Las Vegas, in that it is a city that is just, it doesn't sound
Not
real.
real.
If you explained,
No one lives.
if you explain to somebody that there is a city in
the middle of the goddamn desert,
in the most inhospitable part of the United States of America, in like the middle of the desert, where there exists all of these towering, fucking insane-looking superstructures that are designed to lure you in and then drain you of all your funds. It sounds like a fucking wizard made this place, and it pretty much is.
Goddamn
I'll
masterpiece.
I'll let you put it above San Diego and B tier.
Okay.
Alright.
Is that negotiable enough?
I think that is negotiable enough.
Yeah.
We can put it there.
I'm giving it the Fallout New Vegas bump. That's
You're gonna put it behind Minneapolis though? I think it could beat Minneapolis.
I think it beats Minneapolis, to be honest.
You guys are.
I
The
think,
other cities are actual cities.
yeah, but Las Vegas is fucking Las Vegas.
It's Vegas.
It's Vegas, baby. I think we got you
People
beat
would fly
here.
from anywhere to go to Vegas.
We're putting it above Minneapolis, all right?
How dare you insult the people?
Boston, baby.
Boston. Seems like
Boston.
a...
I'm moving to Boston. I have a bias. I can't vote on it. I think it's at least a B tier city. I think it's above Seattle. That's my
I
opinion.
honestly would put it in A tier.
What the
Really?
fuck? All right, but
love
have you
Boston.
like hello the fucking?
I've been to Boston a whole bunch of times. I used to drive there every weekend for
Yeah,
work.
I've
The
also-
roads are fucked. The transit's kind of fucked. But
Yeah, the roads are kind of fucked up.
historically,
Wait, all right.
Very
There's different
important.
part of the historically here, where there's a historically of founding city or whatever. Very lot of history.
we get
There's
it.
Also,
Boston vote races.
the Boston's very
Boston
racist.
has history of problem with race. We get it.
I think that I'm just saying. I think that brings it down a couple pegs. I've also been to Boston, and it has a bunch of cool historical shit. I love the what is that? That real long like marketplace area with like the bunch of shops in that one long area. Fenway?
Fennel Hall. Yeah.
Where
no,
there's
I know-
Back Bay, there's
Faneuil Hall,
Fenway.
Faneuil Hall.
Fendel Hall.
Nathaniel
No,
Hall?
not Nathaniel Hall.
Rochester Hall?
No.
So that area
my
is
gosh.
gorgeous. There's a whole bunch of markets that happen all
Yes.
along the pier. That's gorgeous.
The center
There's a
of the
whole bunch
city
of
is
other
beautiful as some of this fucking.
I went to a
great
bunch of
architecture.
ethnic festivals that happened. Just like
The-
street-
the
ethnic street
Boston,
festivals that were
like,
fantastic.
Children's Museum. I've been there a bunch of times. Boston Marathon, very historically important marathon, at least to me, because my dad ran it a bunch. And
Tons of game studios, tons of awesome companies. It's
you can put it. You
East
can put it
Coast
at the
tech hub.
bottom of A tier. You can put it at the bottom of A tier.
Yeah.
I will
Bottom
put
of
it.
A
All
tier.
right. If you guys are gonna argue between B and A tier, can I just put it at the top of B tier? Because I don't think it's
Fine. B for Boston. Tori.
Alright.
B for Boston.
B for Boston.
Sure.
All right, fine.
B for Boston. Put it above Seattle. I think.
All
Dallas
right.
fucking sucks. Put it in D tier. D for Dallas.
Dallas, does it beat out? Does it beat out Detroit?
Cowboys.
Tori, how dare you say something about the Dallas Cowboys when you know I'm from Northern Virginia? Get that shit out of here. That's fucking disgusting.
All right. So are we doing D for Dallas, D for D
D for
tier?
Dallas.
Yeah,
You
D
can
for
put it
Dallas.
anywhere on there, but Dallas.
Does it
Yeah,
beat
okay,
Detroit?
please.
Does it beat Detroit?
Yeah, it beats Detroit.
Fine,
Damn.
put it above Detroit.
Damn. Sorry, Detroit.
St. Louis has the arts. It's pretty cool, but it goes in C tier. I'm gonna. It's not in Ohio, so it goes above the Ohio cities. I think it's better than Indianapolis. I'm gonna put it above Memphis, but below San Antonio.
All right. There we go. And there you have it, folks. We've got.
Hey, can we debate a shining city on a hilltop from A tier?
Okay, yes.
Fine,
I
fine.
think we've firmly determined. I think it's fair that I don't think any of these meet the criteria of Shining City of a Hilltop for me. But if we were to take one and put it on Shining City on a Hilltop, I
would let you put New York up there.
I think it'd be New York.
But I would let you put New York.
It's New York or Honolulu. What if we put both up there?
I think both of them up there would be nice.
I think they're.
Have you never been to Hawaii, Nick?
I have, but for vacation, so as a tourist, so you know.
Oh, so you're a fucking colonizer.
Oh wow, white man, shut up! We're all colonizers. Hello.
Look,
Excuse me.
I'll have you know, I was there on a military diplomatic mission. Okay, that was my official.
Tori, your people still came from Spain.
Salvadorian.
Okay.
No, I'm from El Salvador. They did not come from Spain.
All right, fine, whatever.
Half of me came from Spain.
Ah, okay. See, there it is. I knew it. I fucking knew it. None of us are free of sin.
I am net neutral.
I don't know. I think the points that Tori made about New York are valid enough to keep it out of Shining City, and then I don't know enough about Honolulu, and also don't like it being surrounded by water to keep it out of Shining City. But if we were to choose,
I genuinely can't believe that that's your problem.
I
like how I listed actual issues with the city itself, and you're like, don't want to every
Look, I have such a deep-seated fear of open water that it alienates me from all of Hawaii. I would love to go back to Hawaii despite that, but like it's just I wouldn't want to live there based on that.
I'll fucking believe it when I see it.
Anyways, okay. Yeah, I guess if I had to choose, I would pick New York. And you guys were between New York and Honolulu, or you wanted to put them both up there.
Tori thinks Honolulu more than New York, and I'm in between, so I think we put both, and you can just put New York.
All right. I am putting New York above Honolulu, though.
That's fair.
That's fine.
Fair.
That's
I think
fine.
that's reasonable.
Okay. All right. Well, that's the episode, folks. Here's our tier list.
I genuinely didn't think this would last the entire hour.
This is perfect.
This is absolutely perfectly timed. Mostly because we just didn't know enough about a lot of the cities, so we could quickly rattle them into C tier. C tier. C tier is like just like it is a serviceable city. And I think, I think this is a pretty solid list. If you disagree, die mad. This is unquestionable. There's no more argument. This is definitive. So, yeah, what a fucking episode. Thanks for joining us. And until next time, thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, and peace out.
Bye-bye.